All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to dive into this stream. What do you say? Oh my goodness, we've been waiting for a while. We are testing some elements out, and guess what? You can watch this from Twitch, from YouTube, or from Steam right now. We are offering the full gambit. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official Rockfish Games stream, where I am your host, Eric Schrader, the community ambassador for Rockfish Games, where we're playing Everspace 2! That's right! If you guys are a little bit behind on the uptake, we actually started our Kickstarter a little ways ago. A little ways being about a week, and we're almost at the 50% funded goal right now, so that's huge. We are also having Everspace 1 at 80% off on sale all this week. So if you haven't picked that one up, you can get it for $6 US. That's the lowest price it's ever been. I also encourage you looking at the DLC, which is 50% off for an additional $5. That adds a ton of content, let me tell you what. So we are going right in here. A slew of people joining the chat. Welcome to everybody on YouTube. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing everybody on Twitch. If there's anybody on Steam you haven't joined the chat yet, that's okay. Feel free to dive in. We're going to be answering all of your questions as quickly as possible. I know Michael is over there on YouTube. He's going to be helping you guys. I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on Twitch, but rest assured, wherever your voice is, it is heard loud and clear, and we're going to be addressing everything. So let's dive right in with Everspace 2 by talking about what it is and what's a little bit different from Everspace 1. So the first game is an arcadey space shooter with roguelike elements. So when you die, you have to start back over, and it's very challenging, but incredibly rewarding if you put the time and energy into it. Here with Everspace 2, we're moving into a different direction. Instead of doing the roguelike formula, we're now opening it up to an open world RPG, still using those arcadey space shooting delicious elements to go with it. So your controls from Everspace 1 to Everspace 2 are going to be pretty similar. And let me just show you a little bit about what that looks like. Yeah? Let's do this! Let's get in here! Alright. So first things first, we are starting things out in the home base. A little thing up at the top. That's going to be a very important location for you throughout the game. But for now, we're just going to use it to look at the different ships that we have at our disposal. We've already got a couple questions coming in. I'm going to answer them quick. Some people are asking, is it multiplayer? No, this is a single-player focused game, just the way that we want to keep it. So if you're a multiplayer sort of gamer, this game's not going to have any of those opportunities for you, but we are looking at maybe some online components such as leaderboards, Twitch integration, stuff like that. We'll have more information down the line the further we get into development. Because in our development life cycle, we've been working on this for a year and a half and only revealed it about 2 months ago. So we're still relatively early in the development life cycle of this game. We're looking at an alpha, a beta, and an early access release next year, all one after the other, and the full release is coming in 2021. So we're going to have a lot of time to work on this title with the feedback you guys are providing. All right, a lot of time for that. So all right. Let's keep working on this. So, this is the Sentinel. If you guys are familiar with Everspace 1, you'll know that this looks incredibly different. Don't let that distract you. That's only because you're going to have a lot of aesthetic options come into Everspace 2. This one's going to retain that EMP generator element from Everspace 1, and also now has a cloak. I should mention, this is a good time to mention, we are looking to balance a lot of components of the game. Because this is just a demo, you're probably going to see some things change a lot through the course of development. So don't think that things are like completely locked in here, including these wonderful little graphics that you see. No, we're not done with that either. We're still going up. We still have so much more to polish. Goodness gravy. So the Sentinel, this is going to be one of the medium ship classes. All three of the ships I'm going to show you right now are all in the medium ship class range. Many more ships to come beyond this. This one has your standard pulse laser and autocannon options, your EMP generator, and it also has cloak. You'll also see down here that we've got a couple of secondary weapons on it. We have these heat-seeking missiles, and we have these mine clusters that you can launch out at your foes as well. Now we're going to go to the next ship, which is the Interceptor. Another one that veterans of Everspace are going to know. This one is, it's going to have a calibrated pulse laser on it, a valuable coil gun, and a scattergun. All of these are probably sounding pretty familiar from Everspace 1. Then the devices it's going to use, the classic weapon overdrive that we've seen, as well as energize boost and teleporter. Last but not least, we have the Assault Fighter. This name might even change. We're not even done with the naming conventions yet. Oh my goodness. So much room for growth here. This one's starting with a coil gun, a blaster, and a railgun. So very powerful weapons right out of the gate. As well as a weapon overdrive to make it get crazy strong, and an EMP generator to mess with your foes. Now, I know that a lot of you guys are talking, so I'm going to have to ask. Oh, I see that we're getting a little bit of lag. Tulol Tulameo, thanks for pointing that out. Hopefully it's not going to be terrible. Game audio is loud. Oh, let's address some of these concerns right now. Let's get some of this adjusted. Hopefully that's better. Thanks for pointing it out. Yeah, it does look like we are getting a little bit of lag. That's unfortunate. But otherwise, we are going to keep pushing through, keep making things the best we possibly can in this stream. Hopefully it's not going to be too choppy for us. So we're going to go ahead and start things off with the Sentinel. Going to launch it out. We're going to see how things look. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let's see if we can pull a trick or two to get things working a little bit better. Awesome. Glad that the audio is working better for all you guys. Excellent. So we just launched from the home base. You'll see it right behind us right there. Big old structure in that asteroid. Maybe it'll get bigger. I don't know. So let's go over here where there's some bad guys, and let's do what we do just like in Everspace 1 and shoot them. You'll see a lot of little elements on screen now. A lot of UI elements showing various details of your engines, your ammo, your hull, your armor, and your shields. All of those elements are the different colors that you see in the very middle from left to right. And we're just destroying these guys and taking their loot. The loot is just dropping right into our cargo right here. And all the items that we started off with are already equipped, of course. We have our pulse laser and our autocannon. Pulse laser is very similar to that in Everspace 1, just as you saw me firing there, where the energy DPS is far greater than the kinetic DPS. I am seeing a lot of people saying there's lag. I am so sorry that we're having those issues. Goodness gravy. 1 second, guys. I'm going to do a little trick. We're going to see if we can navigate the lag in a unique way here. Let's see if that improves it a little bit. Just hoping. But otherwise, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's on our ship just for starting things off. Because we chose the Sentinel, we have this pulse laser, the autocannon. On the pulse laser, you have lots of different stats here that you can see immediately. So the kinetic DPS is only 15, but the energy is 50, which means this is going to be a very powerful tool against shields, just like it was in Everspace 1. You'll see the kinetic damage, the energy damage, the range, fire rate, velocity, degrees, spread, and energy consumption are all modifiers down there underneath. And yes, I did say modifiers because we're using an itemization system more akin to something like a Diablo or a Destiny, where various traits are going to be interchangeable and modified heavily based on the rarity of the items that you are discovering. So yeah, I see somebody already immediately said, Diablo in space! Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for. I feel like that. Hopefully not too incredibly grindy, but something where you can truly customize your ship far to your liking. And also, of course, expect exotic and legendary applications to your weapons, as well as your modules on your ship that are going to give you crazy bonuses and combinations galore. So let's talk about the modules really quick. This is something a little bit new to the Everspace experience. Now, instead of having your energy cores just like this separate thing off in the distance that you couldn't really modify, now this is something that's that you could actually like pull it off of your ship, replace it. This is going to have unique modifiers on it as well. Maybe it could have something that if you fully spend your energy, it activates an EMP boost, for example. That's just a really basic example of some of the crazy stuff that can happen. We have our shield that you're going to have. It's its own slot, so you don't have to deal with managing it in your devices. We have armor plating. Remember, each one of these can be incredibly unique. We have sensors, and we have your thrusters, as well as this little slot, which is just for cargo alone. So modifiers of your cargo can change how you might be affecting the gameplay. So other than that, we found just a couple commodities. These are just example commodities. There's going to be a lot more trading because we have an open world to explore, which means static space stations that you're able to go to, come back from, maybe even change the persistent world that you're engaging because you accidentally blow up a base. Oops, sorry about that. But then maybe another faction comes in to take over that base. We're looking at a lot of different options to make it very exciting, very fresh for you to play as a trader if that's the case of your style of play. But we also know you like a lot of explosions and stuff, so we've added a couple new features like grappling things. So now here you can see that I've actually grabbed onto this gas tank, and we can throw this around and mess with it with our enemies. Let's see if we can hit this outlaw drone. It's kind of hard to do this. Nope, I missed completely. But rest assured, you'll have a lot of fun ways to interact with objects and the like with this little grapple mechanic. Here we're flying down here. We have this craggly element in the side of this rock. Looks like it's destructible, and it is. Just needs a missile to do it. And we've got a couple new items here. We can talk a little bit further about the itemization through this. A lot of jumps and frames still. Oh my goodness, this is so unfortunate! But the stream must go on. So please bear with the lagging, something that will be addressed. So the first item we got is the intuitive plating. This is a complete replacement because it's just straight better. It's adding two modifiers called resistance and firepower. You're going to have several different keywords that will adjust your ship. So as an example, kind of like in a fantasy world, right? You have like strength and dexterity and constitution, elements like that, right? That you want to boost and change according to the situation at hand, or just like a general play style that you have in mind, maybe to a specific character class. These are going to be those modifiers that benefit or hinder those various attributes that you have on your ship. So we're just going to hunker this right on. So now we straight up have more armor, and the resistance and firepower. I would show you what those are doing, but the management is not done in the game. This is a very early look. So rest assured, just know that that means we have more resistance against damage, and we are doing more damage output because of that firepower bonus. Now here, for the energy core, it actually has two that are regarding the repair and utility. That means pretty self-explanatory there. The repair is going to allow us to repair faster and more efficiently, whereas the utility is going to give us more cooldown options with our devices and whatnot. So now that we have those two locked into place, we can continue flying around, but before that, I'm going to just check and make sure your questions are getting answered. So just a quick look over at chat. Steam, I do not see anybody talking at all. If you are there, know that you can click on the link. I think it's in the lower right corner of the stream. You can click on it. It will pop me out to a separate window, view broadcasting source or page, and you can dive into the chat from there. More than happy to have a conversation with you. I'm seeing so many of you talking on YouTube and Twitch. It is delightful. Let's see if anybody's got a question that hasn't been answered yet. Tulameo, thank you so much for all of your hard work and answering questions over on the Twitch side, by the way. You're being a rock star. Matsumuri Gaming, also thank you for your hard work over there. You guys are making sure it is clear and done. That's really great to hear. And of course, Michael, CEO, Mr. Boss Man of Rockfish Games, leading the charge over on YouTube. Thank you as well for addressing those. All right. So I see a question that says, what new alien forms can we find? Let's go look at one of them. I think he's going to be... Let's find the station that we can do so with. Right over here. Not quite over there. Nope, that's the home base. We're going to find a little buddy, and we're going to find a mate for them. So what we're going to do is navigate this area down to this asteroid, where we're going to find that little buddy. Hopefully nobody fights us in the process, but if they do, we can utilize a glyph that's in the area. This is a little power-up that's going to give us a damage bonus to overcome our adversaries with ease. So this Outlaw Scout, he might even be... Yeah, it looks like he got stuck on a piece of debris. That's fine. We'll just take his loot and go. But here we are. We've got this little buddy right here, the Shadow Creature. This is a new creature that offers a minigame challenge. There's going to be a lot of different opportunities to test your skills in Everspace 2 because it's, again, a very massive world that you're going to be exploring. This isn't done yet. There's a lot more to be created, but we are just in this single little system in this little sector right over here near this planet. But this guy, he requires us to find a mate. And to do so, we have to stay in the shadows. Hence, it's named the Shadow Creature. So we are going to fly over to this side of this base, stay in the shadows, and find his buddy. Before we get destroyed, preferably. Just like so, we get a little bit of dark matter in the process. Now we need to take out these guys. Swap over to our autocannon. Perfect. We also have this big old device that is launching little bombs at us. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one, and we're going to deliver it to these enemies that are fighting us. Come on, give me another one. There we go. We'll catch it. We missed him. But rest assured, we have a lot of opportunities here of catching these shots fired at us and throwing them back at our foes. Here, we'll just give it straight back at the launcher itself. There we go. That was a new enemy right here. It was an Outlaw Madcap. As we level up, because we do have experience, it's gaining the entire time we're in combat, completing missions, all those different elements. See if we can make some big explosions happen. Throwing these bombs back. Perfect! Excellent. So let's go ahead and see what's in this shipwreck. Ooh, a railgun. Cycle that out and see what it's like. Beautiful. A Half-Life 2 gravity gun in space! Yes. 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 That's exactly what we're going for. And there's going to be a lot of different ways to utilize that. Some of the ideas that we've kind of been crafting behind the scenes, you know, you'd be able to upgrade it and grab a drone that's annoying the heck out of you and just launch it into an asteroid. Because nobody likes drones. Any of you out there think you like drones? I know you're wrong. So just letting you know. So like a drone of this nature, he's assaulting you, just chuck him into the asteroid, say good riddance, don't even have to worry about him. There'd be little mini-games that you would use to interact with. Maybe you have to adjust a coupling on a space station somewhere, somehow. Or even drag an escape vessel that didn't quite make it to its destination for them after their ship was destroyed. In fact, we have an opportunity to show there and one of the locations we'll be going to. So let's figure out how we get to another location. First, we're going to go back to the home base. We're going to use this cruise drive so we do so quickly, because there's a lot more area in Everspace 2. We don't want to waste time. So the cruise drive allows you to get there very fast. And let's see what's in this little secret. Oh, we got a cargo unit. That's great to see. So by plugging in this cargo unit that we got, it's actually going to open up the opportunity to hold even more gear. Doesn't have any unique qualities to it. This one doesn't, but that can definitely open up for more. Got some outlaws in space. Let's move even faster and show the next tool that we have for you that really opens up things into the open world environment. So now we are freely moving about in the solar system. See that planet over here? We're actually going to be able to get a lot closer to it. We have a sun in the distance. See that planet we were close to is now much further away. Let's go ahead and head to this unknown station. Now I'm in complete control, but I can also lock onto and just let it drive for me. And even beyond that, I can hold the R button to just make it skip and get there immediately. So if you don't want to wait around, you can just skip, or you can spend time in your nice little simulation of waiting until you get there as well. There are opportunities that can occur if you do spend the time to wait, like interdictions, unknown signals, various other occurrences. But for now, we're just going to get here and see these outlaws fighting this G&B faction. Take them out with our new railgun. Feels real good. But you do have to line up your shots pretty carefully. Perfect. Yeah, we really don't want to mess with these G&B. They're in large numbers here. So we're going to go to this base, see what's going on there. Stream still laggy? I'm hoping that it's not, but I have to ask. Railgun feels great in the demo. Hey, Dagum. It's good to see you at TwitchCon, by the way. Alright, so, we're diving in here. It says still a bit laggy. Alright. But we have this conversation that's leading us into a side mission here. This manager says, hey, we have a leaky pipe. I need to go find somebody to do it because my guy's sick with plutonian flu. And I'm like, well, hey, I could repair it. And he's like, okay, well, I guess that's fine. And so we're going to go do some things. Video a little good. Okay. Not nearly as bad as it was earlier. That's good to hear. Matsumari, thank you for jumping over on Steam as well. You're a peach. Okay, so now we have a new mission. We have to repair this leak. But first, let's go ahead and sell some stuff, because we've been picking up some goods. In the full game, we'll have a little bit more palpable interactions. For now, it's just a matter of like, oh, okay, I'm just going to sell this stuff. But there are definitely going to be tools that allow you to organize your equipment so that you know what's the most for profit with that particular station. You'll know like what they're kind of seeking out. You'll know what you have the most of versus what you have fewer of. All those different types of things that you'll be able to organize. In fact, there'll be a couple buttons that show up right here, in fact, where you can organize by value or quantity, various things like when you got it, all of those different things, so that you can organize it accordingly. For now, we are going to look in here, see if there's anything that's worth purchasing. Doesn't look like it. I think I actually sold this. I did. But we can replace this. We can replace our... no, it's the same thing. Never mind. So what I'm doing here is the reason why the stats are changing. It might be kind of hard to see, but right in the middle there, I'm changing which secondary it's comparing it to. So the Viable Mine Launcher shows that it's actually better than the Homing Missile Launcher, but its range is much shorter, and its fire rate is much shorter as well. So I think we're just going to not worry about that. We're going to hang on to our Homing Missile Launcher and our Viable Mine Launchers in the process, and we will just keep going through. Man, you guys are on point with answering the questions. I really appreciate you guys in chat helping the community out. This community is great. It's amazing. How much can you say on space whales? Like, can you hunt them? Are they rare? Oh my goodness, we did have a little bit of a teaser rendition of what a space whale might look like in Everspace 2. Who knows what that could be realized into? We've got a lot of opportunities ahead of us, so you'll just have to stay tuned to find out. Could be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's keep looking around for that leak. Here we are. So nothing too crazy. We're just doing this sign mission, you know, fixing stuff, right? So we're just going to hold F to repair, and we're done. Oh my gosh. We got a madcap. Let's take him out. Perfect. And a madcap always splits off into this little pod after it's destroyed, shooting out a bunch of mines. So they can be really devious when up close. That's probably why we had a moment there that was RIP headphone users and you heard that really loud mine sound. It's because they just barraged us with a bunch of them. So now the manager's like, oh, hey, yeah, we have a madcap problem. It's not a big deal. They just sneak by the base and they steal our bandwidth. So it's a bunch of Wi-Fi guys, really, who are just stealing the internets. And he doesn't think it's too much of a trouble. So I'm just going to say, you know what, I can deal with this for you. And we're going to hunt him down and take him out. Because the best answer to people who are stealing your Wi-Fi is to destroy their spaceships. This is just a sample mission, by the way. There are going to be so many opportunities to distract and engage and go on espionage missions and covert operations and anything and everything. Trading. So much. There's going to be a lot of different opportunities for you to explore and to get involved with through the game. And we'll definitely be showing off more of those, of course. This is just one of countless. Now let's find... Oh, forgot we need to take out his... Thanks, GMB. Perfect. Let's find this other madcap stealing the Wi-Fi. Is the flat cannon making a return? I think that we have a lot of tools and a lot of abilities that we want to bring back from Everspace 1. We have to find the right fit, the right use for how they're going to impact and change the gameplay of Everspace 2. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't create something along those lines, but you'll just have to wait to find out. Alright, now, after we've taken out all those madcaps, we are going to do a bit of repairing, since all of our combat ended up making more leaks! Oops. Sure, it can't be that bad, though. Perfect. One more. Two more. Whoops, we missed one. Right back over. First person view in the cockpit. We don't have that available in the demo, but absolutely it is in the works. In fact, we'll be showing off some animated GIFs later and through the stream in case you missed any of those. We're also going to be talking about a Kickstarter update here in a little bit. Just have a nice little segment in between our gameplay, just to talk about what we've been up to, any news that we have to share, stuff like that. But yes. Yeah, so like for right now, I can just go in first person, but I don't have any cockpit. It's coming. Alright, so this manager is now glad that I've helped him out, but I charged him a little much. He paid up though, so I'm a happy camper. Let's go elsewhere. We've got this little broken drone over here. Let's see what that's all about. How many spaceships are in Everspace 2? This is a great question that we can't actually answer right now other than saying a lot. Because we have multiple ship classes and subclasses that are all going to be decked out in many unique ways as you're leveling up, finding new components, as you're gathering new equipment, as well as you're unlocking new content in general. So there's a lot of factors that are going to come into place in how your ships are going to exist, and a lot of different ways to make them your own. So stay tuned for when we reveal far more details about the ships themselves. Let's take out this broken drone, and then maybe, if you guys are really nice, I'll show you a couple varieties of different ships from one ship class. Alright, let's take out this broken drone first. Now that orange on him is armor, and this guy is beefy. He's level 6, so he's a lot stronger. Also, we're kind of bad at shooting with that with that weapon, so we're gonna just slowly track him down. Looks like he's trying to blow himself up. Not sure why. Where's he going? Missed. Oh! Lots of drones. Excellent. Let's nullify them using our EMP and just pot-shotting them one after another. Beautiful. One more shot. There we go. And it looks like we found a rare pulse laser and an uncommon railgun. So let's check out our new loot. It was a trap! Absolutely. You know it. You'll never catch me alive! Yeah, basically. Does the ship come with a pre-built-in weapon, or can you swap them out? All weapons in all of the ships will be swappable. So, like, I could completely remove these guns. Now, depending on how things go through balancing and playtesting, these weapons will be changed accordingly based on the respective types of ships there are, as well as have exclusivity of the ships. So, for example, like in Everspace 1, the flat cannon can't be used on the Scout class, because if that was the case, it would be absolutely crazy devastating with such a tiny ship with such powerful weaponry. So we'll restrict certain elements like that as we're balancing all the various forms of the ship classes as well. Okay. So let's look at this. We've got a pulse laser that is way better than what we had before, and it has some unique modifiers on here showing 10% of kinetic damage bypasses the shield, 10% of energy damage bypasses the armor, and 1% chance that each shot to increase all damage dealt to the target's hull by 100% for 5 seconds. We're going to use that. That's a nice... That's not balanced yet, and I'm going to take it. We're going to use that to its fullest. Then we also have this railgun, which has a 3% chance for each shot to increase all damage dealt to the target's hull by 100% for 5 seconds. That's great. So that's just straight up win-win bonus upgrades for both weapons, and we'll be able to find a trader, sell those bad boys, and make a profit. Oh, look at this. See this big hunk of chunk? Oh, gosh! Don't you worry about that. We're working out those kinks. What just happened, you might ask? Well, it's still gonna happen. Okay. Well, I grappled the big piece of debris. Let's see if we can let go. Perfect. We grappled this big piece of debris, but our hitboxes aren't quite precise yet. Again, this is a demonstration, so that hurt considerably. But what I was trying to show is that you can grab onto larger objects that are in space as well. Now, I ended up using a nanobot. This nanobot is actually behind me. You can see the elements underneath. Actually, let me just do this real quick. We're just going to hide my face. Boom. So you can see in that lower right corner, we have nanobots, energy injectors, damage boosters, and then our secondaries are right underneath there. All of those things we can use instantaneously. That's how I repaired up my hull, so that I won't just die from some sort of accident again. We just used another nanobot, so now you see my hull is completely replenished for any new dangers that come our way. Let's go ahead and put my face back on so that you know who you're talking to. Hi. Hello, welcome. Anybody who's new to the stream, I am your host tonight, Eric Schrader, the community ambassador for Rockfish Games. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to dive into the chats on Steam, YouTube, or Twitch. We're answering any and all of your questions, just so that you can be better informed as to what Everspace 2 is and what it's going to offer. We are 2 years out of the full release, so it's very likely you're going to see bugs and misplays and little things that are absolutely going to be more tweaked and refined through the course of this development cycle. So, much like we just saw. So we're going to fly over to this big old thing. 1 second. There we go. This looks like a jump gate that was just used by this outlaw destroyer. Here is a little mini boss. Different type of enemy. Hasn't been seen before. That offers more challenges that await you in Everspace. Now you can see that there's little turrets here. We're going to try and shoot them down. But that turret, if you see, it just went into the ship itself. Now it's hiding when it's damaged. Same with this one. It can't shoot us anymore, but they're inside repairing. So you can't just needlessly fire at the targets, get rid of them, and just be like, oh yeah, no, it's just a dead ship in space. Instead, you'll see here, this turret's coming right back out, fully repaired, blasting away at us again. So you're gonna have to think in a couple more creative ways than just one to overcome these guys. In this case, we just knocked out his armor, and these sides are opening up, which we can blast from the inside to do a very healthy amount of damage. Now that they're closing, he's got his armor back up. You see that sliver of orange. So we'll have to deal with his drones before taking out his armor again. Perfect. There are going to be a wide assortment of larger vessels that you'll have to deal with. This is just one example of many, and one example of a weak spot. We really like to give you guys an opportunity to take out your foes in more ways than one in Everspace 2. It was definitely something you guys desired from Everspace 1 onwards. We hear you loud and clear. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. This guy's armor is very healthy. Let's throw some mines at him. See what that does. Looks like it's working pretty well. Got him. Beautiful. Get rid of those drones on us. Wonderful. We got a blaster, and a lot of credits. That's great. So let's head back to this base. Check out our loot. Figure out where we want to go next. So from here we can also repair up our armor. Just plop it right down like that. Right now it's incredibly cheap. We just spent a mere 100 credits to happen. Again, there's a lot of balancing of numbers that haven't taken place yet. So rest assured, you're going to have to think pretty quickly to manage all of your different systems and elements in order to keep everything operating at maximum. We're also going to refill our secondary weapons, and now we're going to see what we can trade. We have this blaster weapon, which I think I'm going to replace. 10% of kinetic damage bypasses the shield. Excellent. We're going to replace our railgun. We're going to sell this bad boy. We're going to sell this railgun and this pulse laser, these wiring kits, as well as this medicine. So we now have a little bit over 6,000 credits. We have this blaster. We could really use nanobots. Do we have any nanobots for trade? Doesn't look like it, so we'll have to find somebody else. See if there's any questions that anyone has asked that has not been answered yet. Some of the questions over on YouTube, you guys are fun. When does the demo come out again? Brighton asks. So if you support us on Kickstarter, at the standard edition tier or higher, which is 40 euros, then you will get the demo when the Kickstarter's over. We'll just hand deliver the demo. This is a prototype of the demo. It'll actually be tweaked a little bit further, in fact, for you to be able to fly in. You can stream it. You can do whatever you want with it to your leisure. It's not even tied to any like Steam key or anything, so you can just download it on your computer and have it forever, if you want. Then, outside of that, the alpha will begin in either I think it's Q2 next year. Is that right, Michael? Need your clarification on that one. Beta will be after that. Early access will be later next year, with the full release coming out 2021. Let's see if we've got any other questions from Twitch. What themes will your story tackle? This is a really intelligent question. It's the main story of Everspace 2 is going to be your character figuring out what it means to be in relationships and figure out purpose. That's the main overarching theme. So in Everspace 1, if you guys are familiar with that overarching story, it was all about figuring out who you are, right? As a clone pilot, spoilers, oh boy, spoilers, just a little here. As a clone pilot, you're trying to figure out identity. And it's a crisis that you're kind of dealing with since you have this one task that you can't shape and change things from. So moving into Everspace 2, there's a lot of events that happen, but now you are essentially your own person, and you're trying to figure out what your goal is, like who you want to be. So really good question. And we'll have a lot more information on those story-driven components and what that all looks like in time. Right now we've got a lot of space to work. There's a lot that we have to plug in and build out. So surely you understand that this is something we are taking great care, great detail in, and we'll reveal when the time is right. So good question. Good question. All right, good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and head to the next location. We did a pretty good job clearing things out. A couple outlaws over there, but I'm sure G&B will clean them up. So I also wanted to turn and face the planets in the background so you can see it immediately transitions into these background elements that aren't just a picture. Like, we can actually fly too close to this planet. We're not going to hit it, of course, but have this moon right by us. And now we're going to fly over to the star. It's a long ways to go there. We're over here. Star's all the way over there. So what we're going to do is we are going to fast travel and just get there immediately. Boom! Here we are. So I have the scientist who's now asking us to complete a mission for him. I'm going to fly up close to him, have this interaction exchange. Will space hazards return? Oh, absolutely. There's a very large area of space that we're going to be flying through here. I'm sure that everything's in all peaches and cream out here. I'm sure. Guaranteed. Will there be a resource for the jump? That's something that we could experiment with. Good username not found. As of right now, there isn't one. Much more suitable for exploration than the first one. Yeah, I mean, Everspace 1 as a roguelike, it was constantly keeping you on your toes, trying to dive in and complete your tasks as quickly as possible, right? The challenge was timing. In Everspace 2, we have opened those doors wide open. Absolutely just threw them back because we're now in an open world RPG setting. So, yeah, like, we have zero pressure of anyone coming to get us, at least for now. So now we have to go align these solar panels next to this star in order to complete this task at hand. We're going to use our new blaster weapon. Oh, beautiful. And we see this, we have a new drone enemy here. Never mind, they're gone. They just decided to leave. But that was an armor drone. And the outlaw armor drones will provide an armor bonus to all enemies nearby, which is why that standard drone ended up having a really long bar of orange that indicated armor. Rest assured, there are ways to tackle various drones that bar your way forward, as well as an assortment of other enemies that will provide static benefits to nearby foes. So you have to be careful and thoughtful about how you're approaching and engaging the enemies. We're going to sneak in here, take this shield ST and a railgun. Man, we keep finding railguns. Not complaining too much. Here's an example of a larger item that doesn't destroy you when you pick it up. This freight container is very heavy and it's harder to navigate. But we could move this about, deliver the goods somewhere else, or we can, throw it at an enemy. Hope they collide with it. Stuff like that. A lot of little interactions like that we're hoping to have a lot of fun with, so that you constantly have something new and exciting to engage with as you're completing your tasks throughout this very open space. We got one more solar panel to align. But first, let's go for a race. Prexos asks, what's your job in the company? I'm the community ambassador. I'm also a game design consultant and quality assurance tester. Basically what that means is that I talk with you guys. I engage all the time, have a blast with it, because you guys are amazing. I also help the team on the development side of things, issuing new ideas and challenging various mechanics. And then I also test to make sure everything's working accordingly. Now, Michael, the guy who's the Rockfish Games title that's in YouTube right now, that's actually the CEO of Rockfish Games answering your questions. So in layman's terms, he's my boss. So be nice to him. We'll have a good time. There we go. Let's look at this racetrack. This is one of many little mini games that we'll be offering through the course of the game, and they'll look a lot more cleaner, a lot more distinguished than this. Just giving you a little bit of sample of the different types of ways you can enjoy the vastness of space. And maybe something like this would also pit you against other AI fighter pilots to best them in a death race even, armed with missiles and stuff. Who knows? It could get pretty crazy. Alright, so let's go activate that last solar panel. Finish off this mission. Gosh. Alright, that was the last one. And now the scientist seems to not be responding to me. What's going on? Okay. They realize that the sun is rubbish. We're going to take these credits. Steer clear of that contamination. They're already on their way to a different system to find a better star. So I'm questioning, what about my money? And they say that it doesn't, their budget doesn't account for subpar research conditions. Oh my gosh. How rude. So they're going to transfer the amount they normally pay to test subjects instead. So as you can see, not all of the missions that you will be encountering are going to be all pleasant and dandy in a standard sort of experience, right? Sometimes you're really going to have to figure out who you want to align yourself with and who you really just want to blow up. So now we're going to head over to this mining station because we got a mere like 80 credits or something for all of that. And see what we have to offer here. Ooh, a little stretching. Excellent. Let's see what's being offered. Nanobots? Nanobots. We got a couple nanobots that we can outfit ourselves with. Gladly take those. Looks like we also have a better sensor that increases our tractor beam range. Gladly take that. Now what I just did there is I actually purchased and sold in one interaction. We're going to be keeping things pretty nice and convenient for you guys. We're focusing in on a lot of quality of life of improvements. based on your feedback from Everspace 1 and how you are using and managing your equipment, even in that roguelike formula. So hopefully we're going to streamline a lot of that, and of course we'll be working directly with you guys through the course of the alpha, the beta, the early access, in order to make these things the best they can possibly be. And we got another railgun. 10% chance to disable the target's shield for 2 seconds with each hit. That's pretty remarkable, but as a railgun, there's not a lot of opportunity, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and swap this shield SD, sell the old one. I think we're going to go ahead and just sell this railgun and keep our blaster and pulse laser. Perfect. Let's fly back to the home base. Oops. Let's head back to the home base, and this time we're just going to see what happens as we wait to travel from one area of space to the other. Oh, we're being interdicted, so I have to follow this signal to be pulled out of warp and engaged in combat. We're going to be changing this UI. I know that we're not 100% locked in on that one, but here we are. This unknown signal. This is what I wanted to find. Let's go see what's here. Can you land on planets? You can't land on them, but there will be combat in Atmo. There will be combat in Atmo, so you can get down to planets. You'll be able to like trade at stations and stuff like that, but everything in the game is going to be within your ship. In fact, think of your character as a whole as the ship itself, like a character in an RPG. And you'll be able to customize that fully, change your class options, stuff of that nature as you're leveling up and finding new gear. But you're not going to be getting out of the pilot seat and into like a vehicle on land or navigating any massive battleship, anything like that. You're always this one-man fighter duking it out throughout the stars. We're going to go ahead and collect this iron deposit because it's right here. Some copper as well. Perfect. There's some containers about. More iron. Excellent. See some more enemies are nearby. Go ahead and address them. A little far out there. Here's an armor drone again. Let's go ahead and see if we can take care of this with some drones. Launching them forward. Oh, beautiful. Great splash damage. So armor drone's down. Oh, not this one though. Let's just launch a couple missiles. Perfect. Nice and close for the blaster. Oh, come on. And what I just did is I paused the game as that guy got destroyed. I just wanted to look and see how things look over here. We heard a lot of what you guys wanted to see in Everspace 1 pertaining to the unique different types of photographic modes and whatnot that you can have. So we are adding a lot more to our list of goodies this time around, including but not limited to depth of field. So you can see this. We're adjusting that on the fly. That's actually I kind of like that. I like that a lot, actually. But we'll also have ways to adjust your contrast. We'll adjust like color settings, stuff of that nature, maybe some filters, so you can get the absolute best screenshot that you desire in the game. Because you guys really love that feature. It was basically a desktop wallpaper generator for you guys, and the photos that we saw from the community, seriously, it's remarkable work. Major kudos to you guys. And we want to make it look even better, so why not have the tools to do so? Alright, That's everything in this area. Let's move back to the home base. Keep going. Okay, I want to address this question. I saw it from the corner of my eye. Destructo1046 says, I would appreciate if you could get your writers to consult with an astrophysicist that's an expert on stars. I think that if we were to go the route of realism, a little too heavy, then by the end of development, we're not going to have any sound. The ship design is going to be completely modified, since it makes no sense to have a fighter in space. We'd have to change so many things in order to make this a realistic experience that I think it's kind of missing the point there. Here, like, we're like fully invested into kind of the George Lucas mentality of making it sci-fi, but also just fun. Like, it's arcadey, it's fast-paced, we want everything to look clean, we want it to be highly stylized, and in order to do that, we have to take some liberties from the real world, okay? And that's what we're doing, and that's how we're going to be pushing things forward. So we're not trying to, like, say, you know, oh, this is exactly how an interaction with this white dwarf would be, because clearly it's not. If you were that close to a star in the first place, those asteroids probably wouldn't be there, because they would just have burnt up. But it's a great place to go for a visual effect, right? And we're going to be doing a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of cosmic anomalies and space nebulas and maybe some critters mixed in here and there that don't necessarily make realistic sense, but provide a fantastic experience of engagement for you. Because if the game's not fun, then what's the point? You want a realistic portrayal of a space that it takes you to 30 minutes to travel from, like, one point to another? Like, if that's the case, then maybe you should look for a different game, because that's not really what we want to aim for. We really want you to be able to jump in, jump out, be on your way, play video games. Alright, so here we're back at the home base. We're going to swap out to another ship. Jim Law in YouTube says it best. He says, this is fantasy, not realistic. Yeah. I just said that. That was great. Thanks. I appreciate it. Alright, so what we're doing here is we're going to look at the items that we've been accruing over time. We have a storage bay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull some stuff off of this ship. Just like so, because we want to bring this along for us. We've been building ourselves up. We're just taking everything with us, really. And from here, we're going to change over to the Interceptor. And when we go back in here, wait a second. There we go. We have our equipment that we need to replace with. So we're going to replace the pulse laser here. We're going to replace the shield, the armor, and the energy core, as well as the sensors. Do we want this blaster? Coil gun, scatter gun. I do like the scatter gun. We've been using the coil gun a bit, so we're going to keep the blaster over on this side. And now we're going to take this ship out for a launch. Just to see how different it looks in comparison to the first ship we were flying. Much more detail work on this one, I think. Let's go to an outlaw base. Will there be, like, trees and stuff on planets? Sorry, I'm just super excited about it. No, never apologize for being excited. No, that's great. That would require a lot of technical detail work. I'm not going to say it's not possible. It would be something that would... we would have to be very careful about navigating that type of space on a planetary surface. So for now, everything that you've seen with the GIFs and whatnot for Everspace 2, it's all very much like desert planets and stuff of that nature. That way it's easy to put the focus in the combat, and the backdrop is just that, a backdrop. But we also want to make things enjoyable and immersive in that sense, so we'll see what we can do. Also, we just threw ourselves right into this mix, my goodness. Let's take out some of these guys. There we go. We used our weapon overdrive to really punish these guys for that ambush. Perfect. We have this outlaw bomber as well. Ouch. Let's get this scattergun on him. Nice up and close and personal. Boom. One shot basically took out his armor. That feels good. One more shot ought to do it. Perfect. Just like that, we're level 4. So I want to talk about leveling really briefly, because we're climbing up. We're climbing up the levels. And I'm sure some of you are thinking like, well, what happens? What's different? How does the game interact with you based on your levels? Well, it's a great thing to think about. As of right now in the demo, it's basically arbitrary numbers so that you can just get a sense of you're getting more experience and your stats are going up. You're also going to have tech trees that you'll develop out as you're accruing various levels as well, to choose different pathways, different options according to your playstyle, not only for your character, but for others, perhaps. So we are, that would all be available here in your management as you are growing, but there's a lot more work to be done, obviously, since we can't show you how this all works. But rest assured, you're going to be branching out and figuring out what are the best tools at your disposal as you're growing, as you're getting stronger. So now we have this object nearby. There was a guy who said that basically his ship was destroyed, probably what all this wreckage is, and we have this escape pod here. So he's an evacuee. We're going to go ahead and grapple him. He says, I need to get back to my base. All right, so we'll take you there. Just like so. Is that a turret mount on top? Not on this ship. Not on this ship. Some simple bump maps that elevate terrain and textures would be nice. Oh, don't worry. We're on it. Will you be able to restart save progress in the demo? I think that's what the plan is. I would have to refer to my counterparts on the team for that confirmation. But the content in the demo itself, it really provides approximately 2 to 3 hours worth of content to really engage with. So having to restart every time, I mean, it's not really the end of the world. But I could understand why some people would be frustrated with that, like trying to, like, you know, you find something like a really great weapon, you just like want to return to that. So we'll look into those elements for sure. It's a good question. HOTAS support is guaranteed at release. Alright, so this guy says, thanks for saving my life. I was saving this for myself, but I'm going to hand it off to you. Be good. Ooh. Perfect. He gives us some earth wine that we are immediately going to sell. For yummy, delicious credits. Alright, let's sell all this stuff, because we don't need it anymore. $350 credits for Earthwine. Alright, I'll take it. Yeah, we can add one more there. Perfect. Let's see, I want more nanobots. So we're gonna buy both of these. Wait, I said both of them. And I don't think there's anything else. No, I think we're good. So we'll take that. Oh, we need a container. Do we have any containers? No, they don't. That's fine. Also at your bases, you're going to have opportunities to take on various jobs. So here in this tab, it says not available in this version. It's because we haven't built missions all out yet. But rest assured, you'll be able to align yourselves with the goals of others at the stations, depending on what factions they are, to help benefit yourself with those factions. Reap the benefits of going on specific bounty hunts. Maybe you have a stealth mission where you have to extract information from a base or the interior of a larger vessel even. Maybe your task is to complete a race, as you saw before. Maybe your task is to have kind of like an Iron Man challenge of beating multiple waves of enemies. Lots of different jobs are going to provide lots of different gameplay experiences for you to navigate around and to test your skills and abilities to better yourself over time. Woo! So we're at about the halfway point of the stream itself. So I just want to take a momentary break. And we are going to dive into another little quick section of the stream. Just so you guys know everything about what's going on with Rockfish and our interactions and all of that fun stuff in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change over to, hang on one second. There we go. I want to talk a little bit about how the Kickstarter is doing so that you guys are in the know and everything about what you've been doing, what you guys have been doing and what we've kind of been doing as well. So we're going to jump over here. Not necessarily breaking news. It's a little misleading at the top. Who put that there? But rest assured, we had an update come out today, in fact. So let's look at this. We have over 200K in funding, so thank you all very much for your support. It is really appreciated. You give us life. You really do. It's with this support we're going to be able to change this game from something that's just good into something that's really great. We're planning on working with you through the entirety of this development cycle. We keep saying this over and over because we really mean it. Like, you guys are the lifeblood here, so your funding is helping make this project incredible. So thank you, sincerely. So we revealed a little bit of stuff pertaining to the story this time around of Everspace 2. We have a vlog that I'm going to just pop open and let you guys watch here in a moment as well, for any of you who missed it. And we'll talk about it, all that type of stuff. So this is one of the screenshots inside of Everspace 2, part of a station being under attack. There's these characters trying to sneak on by. That's the hero right there, trying to figure out a moment to escape. Escape? That's right. Something's been going down. You'll have to figure it out when we reveal more information. So all of this is basically saying we are happy that we've transitioned away from the roguelike formula going into open world RPG based on the feedback and the support that we've received from Everspace 1 into Everspace 2. It seems that most of you also like this change. So thank you for the support and the feedback for us to navigate this accordingly. It's a win-win. It's what we want to do. It's what you want to do. So that's great. If you haven't already, this is a really key line right here. If you haven't already, we very much encourage you to play through the story to the very end, as there are some unexpected twists. I know that some of you guys aren't so keen on the roguelike formula, and some of you think, oh, the story's, I actually think that you haven't been looking at the story so deeply. I think that the story does provide a really elegant format for character development, and is a pretty exciting experience to behold if you can muster the strength and the courage to power through. And there's no shame in doing easy mode in order to finish that story as well. So if you haven't completed it, Matsumori, you need to get on that. The call out. All right. As Everspace 2 will be an open world RPG with persistent player progression, the story building will be much different this time. Absolutely. It's opening into far much more. Far much more. Will there be more ships, equipment, gear compared to Everspace? Oh, absolutely. And in an open world RPG setting versus a roguelike? Much more galore. It will have so many reveals and teasers for all of those elements when they are reaching fruition. But we have a lot of ways to go. We're still very early in development. I shouldn't say very early. We're early in development, as the alpha access will be opening up next year. So let's go ahead and keep talking through this. So this is a little bit hinty. So Throng asks if you would prefer an unlimited amount of short lifespans without any memories from previous lives, or rather have just one life of 120 years without the change of being reborn. Obviously, Throng as a scientist has a clear preference, always looking for new lab rats for his studies on the behavior of unknown species. But we don't want to spoil our hero's answer for anyone who hasn't played through the Encounters expansion so far. So, if you haven't played the original game, especially if you haven't played with the DLC, right now is the best time because it's 80% off on Steam right now. The DLC is 50% off. You can get all of those delicious lore bits from all these different characters, like this character named Throng, for example, to really understand what's going on in the vast area of the demilitarized zone and with your character. So here we get to the vlog. I'm going to pull this up on my full screen. So 1 second as I navigate how to do this. Here we go. We're going to go back here. Don't you worry about that. Perfect. This is what I wanted.
Hi there, space pilots. We're getting close to 50% funding within a little over a week, and the campaign is on track to reach its funding goal. Thanks so much for your support. We still have a few more marketing pushes coming, so hopefully we will even be able to talk about potential stretch goals soon. Well, we better will, because this beard is not coming off until we have reached our funding goal. Anyway, today we want to share a bit more about the story in Everspace 2. Uwe, our creative director, will lead the way.
Like its predecessor, Everspace 2 will take place in the DMZ, a demilitarized zone in Cluster 34. The origin of the DMZ is a result of the conflict between the colonial fleet from our solar system and an alien race, the Orca. After the war ended, the DMZ was established as some sort of buffer zone between the two domains. One can still find traces of war and destruction all over the place. The DMZ, a zone rich in natural resources, became a war-torn no-man's land with a mining monopoly for Gradient Brunt, a powerful mining company from planet Earth. But the DMZ also attracted freelancers, traders, adventurers, and lots of outlaws, such as pirates and outcasts, taking their chance or just hiding from colonial authorities and persecution. This is where our story begins, or rather continues. Our hero, an Adam Russell clone from Everspace 1, is one of those outcasts. Deemed illegal, he's on the run, hunted by colonial agents. He tries to keep a low profile and works for Gradient Brunt in order to earn his ticket out of the DMZ. Eventually, he gets caught by pirates and his cover is blown. He is about to be sold to the highest bidder, but through a fortunate series of events and by the help of others, he manages to escape to a secret base deep in the DMZ. Besides the Adam Russell clone, we'll meet some familiar faces from Everspace 1 and make of course plenty of new acquaintances from all factions and races. Steadily, other fellow outcasts and exiles gather around the hero in his home base, becoming his new companions and friends. Together they lay low and plan their getaway. But of course, things don't work out as planned. Our cinematics will again be animated comics like in Everspace 1, just quite a bit more of them. Our two in-house artists develop them all from scratch. Moritz focuses on characters and their poses, whereas JC mostly works on environments and illumination. Via script, storyboard, rough and refined illustrations, the final animation comes to life.
Well, let us know in the comments and on Discord what you think about the direction of where the story is heading. Alright, keep being awesome and spread the word while we keep on cracking on the game and future updates here on Kickstarter. Cheers and see you in space.
There you go. So now you know what we've been working on and a little bit more about the story that's unfolding as everything is. Let's see if there's anything else pertaining to our Rockfish news here. We had a couple streamers that have been playing through the demo already, giving you guys a little insight of how they're experiencing as well, because like as the community ambassador, I've played this demo multiple times, so I know like all the bells and whistles, even though, sometimes we have the fun bugs to talk about here and there. But we had Bad News Baron try this out. We had Obsidian Ant dive in for a run as well. And even last week we had Co Carnage. We had a couple other individuals experiencing it, talking about the game, their thoughts. So definitely reach out to your favorite streamers, see what their thoughts are, or, have them poke us and maybe we'll have them get their voice out there as well. So that's what's new and different and exciting with Rockfish this week. Really exciting time. Let's even look at the campaign right now. Where are we currently at? We are almost at 50%. I am in America for you guys curious. So mine's converted into United States dollars here. But the team is based out of Hamburg, Germany. That's why we have been speaking in euros the entire time. But rest assured, everything's looking really good for us, really keen. Thank you so much for all of your support. For those of you guys who have been asking about how do I get the demo, the demo is going to be right here, pledge 40 or more, the standard edition on the right side here. This is going to give you the dev build as soon as the Kickstarter's done, as well as all of these other bonuses, the production updates, your name in the credits, backer roll on Discord, 4K wallpapers, a dev channel on Discord you'll have access to, as well as a full copy of Everspace 2 whenever it releases in 2021. If you think this is a little too much and you're like, I just want the game, I don't care about the demo, I don't really care about all this extra stuff, like just give me the game please. We heard you crying out, and we actually opened it up to 5,000 different opportunities of now you can spend just 30 instead of going 40, which is, it can be a little pricey for an independent game, we understand. So the 30 allows you to just straight up get the game without any other tie-ins, but you still get the benefits of having the backer roll. You still have the dev channel on Discord you'll have access to, and of course you'll be getting all of the production updates as we're navigating this space, literally. So, if there's any more questions about the Kickstarter in particular, we can talk about those now. What will be the full price on release day? That could change. Right now, it's hard to say because that's going to depend on if this bar right here goes all the way across the screen or not. It's also going to depend on several other factors based on what our vision is and what yours is out there. Because again, we are working very heavily with the community through the course of development with this game. So there are a lot of factors. I could throw a number at you right now, but it really doesn't mean anything. So that number is going to be fine-tuned and changed so that it reflects the product that we're creating to its fullest capacity. A good question regardless. Could you give a general estimate compared to what Kickstarter prices are, higher or lower? Oh my goodness, that's tricky to say, but I think in general, most Kickstarters, especially ours in the past, like if you're looking at Everspace 1's Kickstarter, we offered the tier prices at a quality value versus what it was at release itself. So you are getting a lot of tools to engage with us through the development of the game. That's the main element of a Kickstarter that you simply don't get when you buy a game after it's been released. You buy a game after released, okay, yeah, you have the game, but it's done. It's in a completed state. If that's what you want to do, by all means, wait it out. Buy the game when it's done. If you're uncomfortable with a development cycle or you have questions about Kickstarter that it doesn't satisfy your taste, we understand. Because it's still a lot of support for us if you pick up the game after it's released, of course. But if you want to contribute more, we have offered these price points that are a little bit under than what it would be at full release so that you can dive in, but not only get the full game experience, but also offer your incredible feedback so that we can shape and transform this into something incredible, right? That's why we have these different price points as a whole. That's why we're doing the Kickstarter, because it's through you guys that we can, make this really the game that we all want it to be. And I also just want to do a quick shout out because scrolling down quite a lot here. Let me just do this faster. We have sold out our Big Boss tier. That was last week. It was the first week, actually, within the first couple of days. 8,500 euros. That's almost 10,000 US dollars, folks. Somebody has backed us, helped us out. Very much appreciated. They're going to be designing a boss battle in the game. You can't get something like this if you wait for the game to launch. This person is contributing a lot of funding, and they're going to be able to shape and transform their own experience within the full game's completion. We have only one more slot available for mission control. at the 7,500 euro tier. So if you're looking to spend a little bit of money and help us through development while crafting an experience that's not only ours but also yours, you have one more slot. You can help name and design a mission in the game, as well as visit our studio and meet the team in the process. There's a lot more rewards because everything underneath these as well you're getting. We only have one more slot left for the Outlaw Boss Pledge at 5,000. I could go on and on and on about these. I'm sure that you will look up the Kickstarter, see what your options are, see what your desires might be, as well as where you're at financially. But really know at the end of the day, if you're able to support us with cash, that's great. That's great for us. It's going to be great for you because you're going to be able to invest yourself into this. But if you don't have the cash right now, or you simply are weary about it, even vocalizing that we're doing a Kickstarter, if this game looks promising to you and telling your friends, that's huge, guys. Like that is amazing support, and we can't thank you enough for getting our voice out there. All right, so let's dive back into the game. Let's do a little bit more here. Hopefully the lag isn't as bad. It's something that I'm going to tweak and modify over time. We're going to fix those issues, dang it. So for now, thanks for dealing with those issues as we continue to explore more of what we have to offer in the game. Oh, there's a couple more questions. I want to address them real quick. Why is there only one of those available? Katakuri asks. It's because if we were to have like a bunch of different slots for people to design a boss in the game, for example, then we're going to take a tremendous amount of time with talking to one person here, one person there, and like developing all of these different bosses, that then our development time for everything else is going to miss its focus. So essentially it would have to delay the game, and then it would launch in 2022 or something like that. So we only had unique slots to be filled from your support, if you should desire that, in order to add more content using somebody from the community in order to do so. That's kind of the long and the short of it. So another really great question. Are there same camera options like in Everspace 1? Ben Clock, let me just dive in here real quick. Hopefully we didn't just crash the game because I've been doing some other stuff. There it is. All right. So the camera controls, you have a lot of flexibility, much like you did in Everspace 1 for sure. Able to move about, take photos, and we are going to add a lot more features. I can't really get a good angle. This is a bad shot, but oh wait, you know what? This isn't terrible. This isn't terrible. But we do have more features like applying rule of thirds to align your photo to your liking. We have the ability to adjust the depth of field now, stuff of that nature, so that you can make more photos. We're going to have different ways to apply contrast changes, probably filters, color options, and balancing, you know, all those different things. So yeah, we're really upping our game with the photo territory for Everspace 2, because you guys had so much fun with Everspace 1. We want to make the game look even more gorgeous because of your skills with photography. So yeah, it's a great question. Oh, I forgot to turn the music back down. Sorry about that. That's my bad. Adjusted. There we go. So, this is a base. This is a big old outlaw base. Let's go destroy it. Looks like these outlaws might help us out a little bit too. Whoop. Or these GMB forces, excuse me. Alright, so as you can see on the left side, we got a new mission starter that says destroy the outlaw base. This is an example of duking it out with a persistent area. One of many that you'll be able to engage with and destroy. Oh, we got corroded. That's not good. destroy these banners that represent the faction at work here. Yikes, that lag. I am so sorry, guys. We will be adjusting that over time. This is not something we want to have happen again. Alright. So this opened up here on this base. So we're able to blast our way inside, destroy these little platforms, and kaboom! Little boss guy comes out, we have to deal with him. Probably be something larger in the future that you have to combat. Maybe he'll warp in some buddies from afar. But as you can see, there's a bunch of loot now that is floating about. Let's go ahead and pull in all the goods. Oh, shield ST. We also have the ability to pull in multiple items that are all nearby you. Probably make that a little bit easier to use. Because right now, you kind of have to like focus on each item, suck it in. Rest assured, those little details, don't worry about them too much that you're seeing here. We've got a lot of room to make things really solid. Really nice play for you guys. Alright, so let's see what we got. We got a new shield ST, which is a little bit stronger, but we lose our resistance. That's fine. We'll use that one instead. We got a new blaster, which looks like it does a little bit more energy DPS and increased damage versus armor. I'll take that one. And a mine launcher that appears to just do more damage. So we'll take it. Next, we're gonna float underneath the base. I want to be very careful with my words here. We're going underneath. We're not going inside. That might be something that we talk about at a later point in time. So here, we are going to hopefully pull this debris out of the way without destroying ourselves. Excellent. Moving it out and about. Get out of here. Piece of garbage. Just pulling it away. One of the many uses. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Now we can see what's underneath here. Just a couple of drones and it looks like a container. Some scrap metal. I'll take it. And a homing missile launcher. Very good. And of course, these little secrets, these little locations that will be scattered about the demilitarized zone are going to provide you a wealth of new tools and opportunities so that you can craft yourself into an amazing fighter. We also, I don't know if anybody's asked this question or not, but because the itemization is based more on a Diablo-style looting system with all of these varied traits and abilities applying to your gear, we also do have static weapons that are out there that you can only acquire if you complete certain tasks. So as an example, maybe you have to defeat this outlaw base in a case like this, and the guy's name is Tarkov, I don't know, whatever. And your reward for defeating him is like Tarkov's missile thing. Alright? Just bear with me here. Tarkov missile thing, it's going to be able to fire 3 missiles at one time. That's its legendary bonus. And after every 30 seconds, it regenerates a missile for you. So it's basically like infinite missiles and you fire tons of them all at once. Right? Something like that. Just a crazy example. But lots of different items that you can only find if you perform certain tasks throughout the environment, throughout the game. Let's go over here. We haven't been over there yet. Did anybody answer the VR question? I gotta make sure. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in very briefly. So we did VR in Everspace 1. A lot of people know this. And it's in addition to the game. So like when you buy the game, you get the VR version just straight up, specifically on Steam. Now we have looked into the feedback, the criticisms of VR from Everspace 1, and we're being very cautious about our approach in Everspace 2. As such, right now, at this moment in time, VR is not something we have fully planned out for the base game. However, we are looking at an opportunity to perhaps make it as an application so that you could purchase it separately. This will allow you to get the VR experience that you want and allow us to focus to make that the absolute best VR experience it can possibly be without hindering the standard audience for the base game. So, not guaranteed, but we are looking into it and looking at opportunities where we can make VR really shine if that's what you guys really do want. All right, we got this bomb throw over here. I'm just gonna blaster it. We've got this weapon that bypasses armor, so we're just gonna take him out super fast. And scrap metal. Oh! Get out of here, bomb. Okay, excellent. Activate this drone, and let's see what's in this shipwreck. Tarkov's missile confirmed for the game. Oh my goodness, you guys. Just an example. It's just an example. Just making sure I'm not missing any questions, so thank you for your patience. Let's see. Will it be possible to upgrade the unique gear so they don't get outscaled? I think that you would be a delightful voice to join us during the development to make your case heard loud and proud, because I like where you're going with that. Will there be a nanobot launcher? Interesting concept. Okay, so I see a question about difficulty scaling. The question comes from Spectral Badger. He says, will enemies scale based off players' power? Or if there will be areas where you can't really survive unless properly equipped? We are exploring a lot of different components in this area as of right now, in fact. We've seen a lot of different games use a lot of different tools in order to challenge the player using a leveling system. Something that we want to avoid is something that some games kind of get watered down with, in basically difficulty scaling where it's a one-to-one correlation. You're level X, so the enemies are level X. What this can do is it just be an inflation of numbers and not really distinguish the game's challenge so much. So instead of it being something new and unique, it's really just more of the same, and the numbers just don't really mean too much other than how much time you've put into the game. We want those numbers to mean something. We want those numbers to be impactful and change the way that you're approaching the game. As such, I know that there have been the concepts, ideas about different areas being different levels, but this is still very much a work in progress. We'll have a lot more to share about all of these difficulty systems, how the game's going to challenge you, especially in the late game state. We've got some pretty fun avenues to really get you going in that sense. But all of that will be revealed more in time because we're very, very heavily in development right now. But a great question, a very great question. All right, so we're gonna take this cooling unit and we're gonna take this liquor. And it looks like there's these guys who are now barraging us. Smuggler over there, Weber drone. He's yelling at us for some reason. Basically, he had this thing in that ship that he didn't want gone. I'm gonna go ahead and destroy him, even though he shouldn't be able to talk. Don't you worry about that. Alright. So he's upset we took his stuff. It's on a limited timer because it's a bacteria that requires to be cooled. So we're taking it over to this base. We're gonna sell it for a little bit of a profit, and we're gonna call it good. Always there in Discord if you ever want to talk. Hey, that's great to hear, because as you know, I am in Discord 24/7, basically. For those of you who don't know, my name is Eric Schrader. I'm the community ambassador for Rockfish Games. My handle online, basically anywhere you go, is Giraffosaur. So if you ever see Giraffosaur and you're talking to him, or he's posting to your Reddit thread, or is on Twitter responding to you, or in a YouTube comment, or in Discord, that's me. Hello. And I'm delighted to help answer any and all of your questions and also have a little bit of fun. We're all about having fun with this great community. You guys have been incredible through the process of this Kickstarter, as it has been, and this is a fun ride. Let's go ahead and look and see what we have in the shop. We're going to just sell a bunch of stuff, because we can. That's not the good blaster. Okay, steering nozzles, no more shield, reactive plate, cooling unit, homing missile launcher, scattergun, Vardum crystal shards. Anything to buy? Anything at all? Nope, I don't think so. We're going to hang on to these nanobots, and we're going to go to the last location we haven't been to yet. Oh, actually, wait. There's another one of these shadow creatures. Let's see if we can find his mate. Now remember, we have to stay in the shadows, so we have to get over there. He's turning white because we're too close. So let's navigate around this. Where's the star? The star's behind there. Whoop. So maybe we can get away with... Oh! Too much light. Oh, gosh! Okay. So let's try going down here. Oh! We made it! We made it! Okay. Woo! Brought them together. Get that dark matter. There's probably going to be something more impactful that you can collect from those shadow creatures. Dark matter, as of right now, especially in the demo, basically means nothing. But rest assured, just like in Everspace 1, where your resources could impact the types of upgrades that you could get, in Everspace 2, the resources are absolutely going to be different. Look at that, 40 credits. Just a mere 40 credits. They're absolutely going to give you different opportunities based on what system that you're in, which faction you're trading with, and maybe have even more beyond that we'll have to show. I'm going to go in this little hole in the side of the asteroid. This might look familiar for any of you guys who have seen the trailer. It's fine. We're professional. Awesome. Look at this. Beautiful. Nice crystal cavern here. Go ahead and collect the mining equipment. Bunch of crystal shards and whatnot. Excellent. We just have to find our way out. This time we won't hit the edges. Perfect. Flawless victory. Alright, let's see where else we can go. I think there's only one more spot. Let's see. Oh no, we've actually been everywhere. That's perfect. So let's go back to the home base actually, and swap to the last ship. Oh, I see the freelancer question out there. Game seems laggy. It's the stream. Marcus Carlson, it's the stream. I fully admit it. There's something on my end that is not where it needs to be. Rest assured, this is something we will address for the future streams, the reveals, and the conversations with you guys to show you in the highest quality possible. So thank you for dealing with the little bit of lagging that there is for now. Alright, so let's go ahead and transfer over some goods to the last ship. We're gonna go ahead and just take all the stuff again, because we can. Or you know what? Actually, let's just keep this stuff on the ship. Let's start fresh with the assault fighter. Nothing on it. Just the base level format. So now we have a coil gun, a blaster, and a railgun. We have a weapon overdrive and an EMP generator. We are going to launch out with this particular ship. And away we go. Is this considered a new Galaxy on Fire game? Asks Z Zahir. Well, we don't own the IP to Galaxy on Fire, but we were the original developers to have made it. So some people have said that this is kind of a spiritual successor to Galaxy on Fire. Take that as you will. It's definitely, we're creating our own game here. This is Everspace 2, a brand new game that is not, there's not really a correlation to the story of Galaxy on Fire, for sure. But if you're looking at how it works mechanically, a lot of people have been saying, wow, this reminds me of these mechanics that were used, this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, absolutely. It's because it's what we were best at, what drove us forward, it's what we love. And we are definitely making... there's definitely some traces of who we were and where we were at before and how we're moving forward. But this is its own game, for sure. But if you're fans of Galaxy on Fire 1 and 2, you'll probably like this one, probably. Alright, let's have them stop firing and then just pummel him. Beautiful. I'm always a big fan of the coil gun, especially in Everspace 1. There we go. Get some credits and some more loot. Now we're able to fly on to our next destination. Let's go see what we can find. Let's see. Did we get all the secrets in the trading station? I think we did. We got all the secrets there. There's not too much else to look at in the demo, so you guys are immediately seeing like how much content like we've been showcasing here. Of course, we can still build up a lot. We can find a lot more items. So at this point, we're just like hunting down enemies. But rest assured, we are working on so much to add, to develop forward, to give you guys an experience that's going to be quite memorable. Alright, I can't remember if this space... No, we haven't done this space yet. Alright. Change weapons. We got a blaster and a railgun. Railgun might be more ideal here because we can hit foes from afar, just like that. What? Damage amplifier? Oh, nice. Perfect. And we shoot the missile. Perfect. A lot of destructibles on these bases. Can we destroy that one? I can't remember. No, I don't think so. We could have just did that. That would have done a lot of damage. We're gonna extract more of these resources nearby. For more goods. And find some more guys to loot. And then we'll go fight the GMB, because why not? That'll be good. What's my favorite Everspace 1 ship? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. My favorite Everspace 1 ship is the best ship. I really enjoy playing the Scout. It's just so fast. It's so... Like, for me, it really... it focuses on what makes Everspace 1 shine, and that's the pacing of the game, right? You're thrown into the mix where you have to think on the fly, you have to act fast, and in the Scout, you very much have to do that. You have a lot of maneuverability, you have great evasion using A, Control, D, and Spacebar, which those controls are exactly the same in Everspace 2, by the way. But through that, like, you can save your boosting and optimize where you're firing at your targets with the Scout. It just feels really great to me. I just really like it. So here's the GMB freighter. They've kind of upped their ante since Everspace 1. There's a lot more containers on board. Let's just see what happens if we get a little frisky. Excellent. So you can see that their pieces are falling off. About time they went hostile, I was wondering. But each one of these containers, much like in Everspace 1, are going to provide the loot. Woo! Provide various pieces of loot as you destroy each one of them. Oh man, these guys are beefy. This probably wasn't a good idea. We'll see if we can beat them up. Woo! This is what happens when you fight enemies that are higher level than you. But you also get better loot. Ooh. Taking a lot of damage. Let's EMP him again. EMP is no longer tied to your energy. You can freely use them. You just have to wait for the cooldown to get back on. Oh, we only have a level 2 left. Yes. Considering we just leveled up to level 5, I think we're going to be alright. Trying to hide from me. Perfect. Let's see, we got cruise thrusters. Nice. And we got frequency synthesizer. That's great. Oh, excuse me while I crack my neck. Let's see what we have here. Cruise thrusters, so the boost duration is much greater, but the boost speed is significantly reduced. I mean, why not? We'll use them for now. More armor there, that's perfect. Excellent. Also, in the base game, in the full game, I should say, we're looking at a couple different options of how you're utilizing the equipment. So, for example, if you are out flying in space, much like I'm doing here in the demo, I'm able to like interchange anything from my cargo into my modules. We're looking at the idea to where you can only equip stuff onto your ship if you are docked, if you are at a station of sorts. That way you have to be a bit more thoughtful about what you are equipping and having on board, as opposed to being able to just like freely swap things in and out, which could present, like if you bought like just tons of missiles, you basically have infinite missiles. You could pause, swap it, pause, swap it. So if you think that that's something that's really, really a great idea, definitely be joining us on Discord. Definitely be joining us on Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook. I mean, basically everywhere, and just giving us your feedback, because like it's important that we make this game right. It's important that we make this game desirable to you. So definitely get on that conversation. Definitely dive into the Discord in particular. It's a really great place. You can get to the Discord by going to discord.gg/rockfishgames, as it was just posted by Matsumuri. Thank you for that, over on Twitch. YouTube, guys, if you want to head over there, again, it's discord.gg/rockfishgames. Pretty easy to remember. I don't know actually if we have a command to get there, and I don't know if I'm going to get kicked out for posting a link, but we're going to try. We're going to try. Perfect! Perfect. There we go. Oh, that's the Steam Powered Store. Hang on. We're going to try this. Does it work? Well, you can copy paste it at least. There you go. What's Geekbite saying? Let's see. Oh, talking about multiplayer. Okay, yeah, this is a common question we get. So our focus at Rockfish Games is to creating the best single-player experience possible. We love single-player games, and we're a single-player making company. So that is our focus, that is our intent. We are looking at opportunities for some kinds of online interaction. For example, Twitch integration. We're looking at possible leaderboards. Nothing is locked into place. This is not a guarantee, but it's something that a lot of people have been requesting, a lot of people have talking about, and we know that in a single-player experience, that can go a long way, especially for community. And as the community ambassador, I give it 2 thumbs up. So we are keeping our eyes and ears peeled for many details of that nature, but in regards to like a co-op or a massively multiplayer online experience, that's not our desire. We are single-player focused, baby. That is where we are heading. So great question. Great question. All right, let's get back into this. Let's see what else we can destroy. Oh, we could do this race again for those of you who missed it. Just a really simple example. Really simple example. Gotta go fast. But rest assured, there will be a lot of different challenges that await you in space, both from a combat perspective as well as from a navigational maneuvering challenge. That sounds kind of funny to say, but you know what I mean. Testing your strengths and abilities regarding your controls. Perfect. All right, we have about 10 minutes left. I think it's a really good time to really talk about, to really answer your guys' question. You've all been great here in the chat, especially with a little bit of technical difficulty. So thank you for your patience with us, and thank you for just being engaged and having a blast while we've been covering all the details of Everspace 2 with you. Barrage us with questions now. Give us your questions. I want to answer anything and everything that you've got. This stream is for you guys, and we are adamant to help you see everything of what we're doing through development, as much as we can share, of course. So that you know where your money would go and how your contributions will make this so much of a better game. What about the story as Turtleback Roll? We actually watched the first vlog that we've posted for the Kickstarter. I highly encourage you to go check that out. You can go to Kickstarter, the Kickstarter page for Everspace 2, and go to the update number 3, and you'll get all the information there on the story. Let's see. Do you already have plans for DLCs? So what we do, Starfish, this is a great question. So what we do is we say, if we will have DLCs, then we start it at this point. As far as like developing content for a DLC, dude, no, we're making a game first. Once the game is done, then we'll move into the DLC process. We would love to do DLCs. We would love to, because that's going to give us the opportunity to take the suggestions, the ideas that not only we've come up with, but that you've come up with that we just didn't have time to reach our deadline in 2021, and then flesh them out afterwards and create a really nice package that we can deliver at a really reasonable and affordable price. So that's kind of how we are navigating the development cycle. Main game first. Once that's done, okay, then we can look at DLC packages. So good question. Is Neutron canon in Everspace 2? In the demo, it is not. There you go. Is the reason that Everspace 1 wasn't like this because there was some kind of non-complete after leaving Fish Labs? Hunter the 100. There's a very long story of what happened after the events of Fish Labs. To make a long story short, basically we didn't have a company, we didn't have any funding, we didn't even have an IP. So Michael had to create everything from the ground up, selected key individuals that he worked with at Fish Labs and brought Rockfish Games online to really push the narrative in Everspace. And in order to do so, we had to cut a couple corners through development and capitalize on the reuse of assets, which is why we went into the roguelike formula. So we're really happy with the results of Everspace, and our hearts are just thrilled to know that we have the right type of funding direction to move into Everspace 2 and being an open world RPG. So, long story short, there were very strategic decisions being made to offer what Everspace was, and even more strategic decisions as where we're moving forward. And a lot of that stems not only from what we have on our hearts and what we want to create, but also what you guys have been desiring so much. Fun little fact, if you look at these Steam reviews of Everspace 1 right now, you'll see a lot of people complaining that it's not an open world game, for example, that they can't do trading that they desire. This is because that's not how that game was built out. It's not a space simulation. And that's the direction we're moving in because of your feedback, because of your criticism that we've been taking, and we have been driving that narrative forward in order to craft something that is for everybody, and mostly for ourselves, but fully for you as well in that process. So really good question. Really good question. Let's see. Can we customize our own ship skins? Asked Kineter TV. Loved the Rockfish one you had and would love to have my name on my ship. Dude, that does sound really awesome. I know that ship skins would be, I know that we're working on a ship skin because one of the tiers actually gives you a Kickstarter ship skin if you reach that tier or higher. It's a little bit more pricey, I'll give it that, but it will be exclusive for everybody at that tier or higher. So if you don't get it now, you will never get it. It's the same way that it worked in Everspace 1. There's only about 200 people out in the entire world who have that exclusive Kickstarter skin for Everspace 1. So if you don't want that opportunity to pass you by, you need to be looking for it in Everspace's 2 Kickstarter to get that unique element. And I'm sure that we'll have more than just one unique skin that we develop. I'm sure that we'll have an assortment of others that will come in time. Let's see. What else questions we got? You'd love to see more destructible buildings and bases? Oh man, so would we. So would we. I can't wait to show off more destructible things. So if you support now on Kickstarter with 40 euros, you get the demo and a game copy, but also access to early access or only full game. No, you also get early access. Yeah, if you get anything and everything on the Kickstarter that says you'll get the full game, that means the Steam key that you would receive if you get on Steam, you would get the early access availability to dive in at that point in time, provide your feedback, and then that will transition into the full game copy. I also think that if you don't want it on Steam, you'll still get the early access on Steam, and then you'll let us know where you want it from there, and then you could get it on like Good Old Games or Epic Game Store Launcher, whatever from that point. But as you can clearly see, we are not exclusive. We're not going to be exclusive. We're going to be providing whatever launcher that is to your liking. That's just who we are and how we're navigating the process because of our relationships with Valve and Epic in particular. We don't want to step on anybody's toes, and frankly, it's great to avoid all the drama that's out there in the gaming industry as a whole. Anyway, so it's a win-win. Perfect. Let's see. What else do we got? Will the new characters mentioned in the vlog have their own voice actors and everything? Yes, we are absolutely thrilled to drive the narratives forward, utilizing all of that delicious voice acting, including several characters and voices that we had from Everspace 1. So definitely look forward to that. It's going to be a blast. I'm really thrilled to be able to show that off whenever we get to that state. Yeah, Michael dropping some knowledge about the reboot for Rockfish Games in early 2014. I just want to read this aloud because it's pretty awesome. Michael's a really impressive individual for everything that he had to deal with through that transition. He says, we're super grateful that our former core team jumped ship when we reached out to them to make top-notch space shooters moving to PC and console. So we're no longer doing the mobile industry material. We are using these very high-end processors now so that you can see the visual prowess that we have. It's a delightful ride, and we really do appreciate all the support and love you guys give us. Jim Law says, ray tracing? And I say, probably. We're looking out for you. We've got a lot of ideas in mind. Let's see, any more games? We have just like a couple minutes to wrap things up. Oh, I see one. Spectral Badger dropped a big one. Here we go. Regarding exploration mining, it'd be nice to explore different types of planets by composition, and search for components, resources, relics to upgrade our ships, and while they're scanning the surface to discover points of interest, locations such as canyons, ancient ruins, weird buildings, and maybe crazy dangerous creatures or threats that are not only ship-related? Goodness gravy. Well, we think that all of that would be really awesome too. We do have a very specific budget of all of the different things we want to bring to life to offer you an exploration not only through space but also in Atmo on planets. So there's a lot of crazy things that we're able to do from this point moving forward, but we also have to be very careful and controlled so we don't have content creep hunkering down on us that prevents our game from ever being launched. Because I really do appreciate the citizens of you out there who understand exactly what I'm saying. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the direction we want to take the full realm of it. We want to make sure it's content complete and not get so crazy and over the top that we can't finish the title. But rest assured, points of interest are something that we really want to make very impactful in the experience of Everspace 2, and you'll be able to find those throughout space and definitely on planets. For sure, there's going to be all over the place. Oh, no, not shots fired. I'm just saying we're going to be a completed game. That's... I guess that is shots fired. Okay, no, it's fair. But we have a lot of love and respect for all of the other space games that are out there, sincerely, because it's through, like, the development of all of these space games we're able to, like, capitalize on the best ideas and have them reach fruition. Like, honestly, like, for anybody who's playing any other space game out there, it's not like... You can't knock them for that at all, because there's brilliant stuff coming out of those hearts and minds, okay? Brilliant stuff. All right, one more question. I want to attack an awkward base with my friends. All right, this just isn't the game to do that. I am sorry to displease you, Turtleback Roll, but we are single-player focused, and it's just the way we want it to be. So, in-app mode play similar to Starlink would be cool. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? That may be a little bit different. I need one more question. One more question. And I know I'm asking that, and we're going to get 50 more questions, but that's fine. One more question. Looking around, looking around. I know it's going to come from either YouTube or Twitch. Where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and close this game down. I love Everspace. That's a great question. I love Everspace? It's great. All right, so the final thing I just want to mention to all of you, these are all the different locations that you can go to follow us. Discord.gg/rockfishgames. You can follow us on Twitter at rockfishgames. For all the game-related content, I highly encourage you to follow at Everspace_game. As well as the Kickstarter that we've been discussing. You can go to bit.ly/ES2KS. Nice and simple to get there, to show your love and support. We would love to continue the conversation even after these streams. We will be back online again next week on Wednesday and Friday accordingly to continue doing the demonstrations, reveal any news and upcoming details that I can sneak to you. Absolutely, we want you guys to be on board with this development process, so we're going to keep you in the loop. Wonderful. I think that about wraps it up. Last thing, Everspace 1, of course, is 80% off right now. It's 80% off. If you have not picked up the game, this is the best time to do so, with the DLC also at 50% off. That is just a massive savings for you guys to check it out, get through the story so that you know what's possibly coming in Everspace 2. Ooh, tantalizing. Guys, you have been seriously great. I really do appreciate your time, your commitment, your support, your love, your conversations, your questions. You're just really great people. Don't stop being awesome. I won't stop being Eric Schrader, community ambassador for Rockfish Games. Hit me up on Discord. Let's have a chat. It'll be delightful. We'll talk next time. Toodles!